Are you trying to get weight loss support through telehealth, but it feels overwhelming and rushed? Check out orderlymeds.com now. Orderlymeds.com was built to be different. Here, you connect with real doctors who take the time to understand your goals, review your eligibility, and guide you through a plan that's right for you. Orderly Meds provides access to proven GLP-1 medications like semaglutide and tirzepatide, including both name brand options and personalized compound versions when appropriate. So you have choices backed by clinical oversight, not guesswork. It's a simpler, more supportive telehealth experience designed around people who want clarity, care, and confidence in their weight loss journey. And your medication is delivered directly to your home in discreet packaging, so your experience stays private from start to finish. Do your research, ask the right questions, then visit orderlymeds.com/podcast for an exclusive offer. Again, that's orderlymeds.com/podcast. Individual results may vary, not medical advice. Eligibility required. See site for details.
Hey, obsessors, let's get one thing straight. Winning is not always pretty because sometimes the edit does not tell the whole story. Sometimes you're painted as the villain, the mastermind, or the one we love to hate. And sometimes those haters, they're the fuel that get you to the finish line. Today's guest didn't just survive the chaos, she leveraged it. She navigated misread moments, twisted narratives, and the kind of social pressure that would break most people. Instead of shrinking, she owned it. Every side eye, every whisper, she's going home next. Then she proved them all wrong because winning Survivor isn't just about fire making or alliances. It's about emotional control, mental endurance, and knowing exactly when to let people underestimate you, and then knowing when to strike. What does that mean? What does that mean to really take it to winning status and allowing your story to be told, even if you did not write it yourself? We're going to learn that today with someone very special, someone very amazing that you're going to get obsessed with, Savannah Louie. She knows how to turn criticism into her greatest advantage. So let's get into it with Savannah Louie, the winner of Survivor Season 49, right here on Get Obsessed.
Welcome, Savannah.
I'm so excited.
Woo! Oh my gosh, you guys, I am so thrilled to be here. Julie, talk about obsessed. I'm obsessed with all of your intros ever. Like, I get goosebumps whenever I hear you talk about me like that.
It's all you, though, Savannah. And you are so fascinating. You're multifaceted. It is really a story that everyone is going to get obsessed with. If you haven't watched season 49 or 50, we can talk about 52. But it is such a roller coaster, but it's something I forgot I'd love to indulge in, the whole Survivor series.
Speaking of indulging, right before recording, we got to let the audience know that you two were talking about the Real Housewives franchise and how obsessed you all are about the franchise. And so that is like your guilty treat, your guilty pleasure. Like, you all know so much. And I'm out of the loop because I haven't watched in forever. But you both were like talking about Rhode Island and Utah and all these other different franchises for the Real Housewives. And so I'm spilling the tea, but you both have to like admit this is confession hour now. I'll let everyone know that's just tuning in.
I mean,
how Savannah get it down, how Julie gets down with the Real Housewives.
Yeah. I take pride in being a Real Housewives fan because there's something about getting home after a long day. You turn your brain off and you're able to watch some of the drama and the social dynamics. Like, you talk about Survivor as being like this big strategic game. In a way, Real Housewives is kind of like a strategic social game in and of itself, right? There's so many different dynamics. It's entertaining to just sit back and kind of absorb other people's drama as you recover from whatever crazy day you've had at work or whatever you have going on.
Oh, they help me feel better about myself as I'm eating.
Would you ever
sitting on the
consider?
sofa.
Would you ever consider being a housewife?
Oh, you're right in Atlanta.
Oh, I would. I don't know if I can fit in with those women, though, because they have such an incredible amount of wealth. And I mean, I just won $1 million, but they've got like a lot more than I do. their net worth, I think sometimes is just insane. But overall, like I have so much respect for those women because for as much criticism and critique as they get from fans all over not only the country, but like the world at times, like they are tough women, they are strong women, and they have this really unique community. And I think there's something so fun about reality TV where you really get to open up and be yourself. I used to work as a journalist, and when I was working in broadcast news, it was a very filtered part of myself, right? It was like maybe you're seeing 5 to 10% of my personality there. But when I did Survivor, like you're seeing a lot more to my personality. Maybe not the whole 360-degree view, but you're seeing a lot more authenticity. And there's something so freeing about that.
I can feel that. I can relate to that. But it makes me wonder though, Savannah, who did you have to become like on and off camera to win Survivor? Season 49, you won it. Like you just said it. You got $1 million. That was your compensation. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Right? Mind blowing. But who did you have to become on and off camera to win Survivor? And do you actually like the version of yourself that you saw like on screen?
You know, that's such a good question. And it's such a layered question, right? One of the things about Survivor is they are filming constantly. Even when you're asleep, there's like a little camcorder that's recording you just in case something crazy happens in the middle of the night. So when you're out there on the island and you're playing the game, you might be able to filter part of yourself for maybe a couple days. But once you're starving out there, you're not sleeping, it's really hard to put a mask on and to keep that mask on through the duration of the game, especially if you're like me and you're out there for almost a month on the island. And so the pieces of me that you're seeing on the TV, like that's 100% Savannah, for better or worse. You're seeing me at my best moments, my funniest moments, my most charming moments. But I'll be honest, you're also seeing me in moments where, yeah, I'm very hangry and I'm a little grumpy, or I feel like I've been backstabbed and I'm taking it personally. Like you're seeing me at my worst and my best. Oftentimes parts of me that only a very small group of people, you know, my best friends, my boyfriend, my parents get to see of me. And to bear that all in front of the world, like part of it is a little daunting at times. And it's very easy to take things personally. But at the same time, when I look back at this entire experience, it has been so freeing, right? And, you know, I talked a little bit about you don't see the full 360-degree view of me out there, but you see enough of me to where I feel really proud at how I was able to see how I'm coming across, but also understand and own how I'm coming across. I'm not going to be the sweetest girl on the block. I've never been that, and that's okay. I don't need to be that, but I can be this player who is bold and who can be aggressive at times. And yeah, who might be a little abrasive, but that's okay. We all have our flaws, and I can still be a winner because of it.
You get the call that you are actually going to be on the show Survivor. And it's an iconic show that we've been watching for 20 plus years. What do you have to do to get prepared? Because not everyone is that ideal archetype of the strong, muscular male or female. Everyone is so different in their personalities, which is so intriguing to me. But what does Savannah Louie have to do? Once you get the call, you're on the show. Are you freaking out? Are you ready to just start lifting weights? Because you're obviously a strong swimmer, you're athletic, but like, how do you get your mind ready to do something like this and know that it's actually a game? It's a game and people don't remember it's actually a game.
Dude, I was doing the most to get ready for this. And so just a little background here. I applied for the show in December. And I didn't get confirmed that I was going to be playing the game until maybe about a month and a half before I actually went out to Fiji. And so pretty much as soon as I applied, I'm like, okay, I got to operate with the mindset that I am going to go and be competing and get on this island, even though I'm competing against, 15,000 other people for a spot on the island, right? Because that's how many people apply. And so I'll break it down into different categories as far as physical and social strategic kind of preparation. Physically, I thought to myself, okay, I need to get my butt in the gym. I'd already had a pretty good foundation, but I did things like I incorporated hot yoga for my balance and for my endurance. I did things like Pilates or Liguri workouts a couple times a week. I started doing these boot camp classes. here in Atlanta, and I would do all of these workout classes without having any water. Because in my mind, I know that sounds crazy, but in my mind, I'm like, okay, when I'm competing out in the game during these physical challenges, I'm not necessarily going to have time to take a little water break. We're going to be going straight through this. So I want to get my body used to working hard without any recovery, so to speak. Another interesting thing I did to prepare as far as the food situation goes, because I don't know about you guys, but I don't have a ton of experience operating when I'm not fully fed 2 to 3 meals a day. And so one of the things I did was I started fasting pretty regularly. So once a week, I would do maybe a 24 to 72 hour fast, which again, I'm not a doctor. I don't know if anyone should be doing this in their real life, but this is what worked for me as I got ready for the show. And as I was fasting, I would have water and everything, but I would also do some of these workouts. So again, I could get my body used to not having a lot of nutrients and being able to replenish itself. But that way, I was hoping it would kind of mirror what I would experience when I got out there to the island. And then as far as anything social related, I tried to talk with as many random people as I possibly could. So that's people in line at the grocery store. That's people who I might meet out at a restaurant or in the elevator. And I would try to have conversations and try to make connections pretty quickly with these different types of people. Just because when you're out there on the island, you're going to be meeting so many different random people from different walks of life. You might not necessarily meet in your typical circles, or at least for me here in Atlanta. And so getting used to connecting with others and flexing some of those communication muscles, that was super useful for me. Although I will say, in a lot of ways, working as a reporter and a journalist and being a former competitive athlete in high school, those are things that really laid the foundation before I even got out there to Fiji in the first place. So you could really say I've been preparing for Survivor for decades, years,
Okay, I have to share this because I didn't expect to love this as much as I do. You know that one outfit you keep reaching for? That's me with my Cozy Earth jogger set. It's lightweight, breathable, made from viscose from bamboo, and just insanely soft. I wear it in the morning, and the clogs, so easy to slip on. Super supportive, but still cozy. What I love most, though, is it actually feels like quality. Like something you're going to keep reaching for. And they even have a 100-night trial with a 10-year warranty. That's huge. So go to CozyEarth.com. Use my code for 20% off. Trust me, you'll feel the difference because comfort lives here.
When people turn to telehealth for weight loss, they're looking for real support. That's why more people are choosing OrderlyMeds.com. Orderly Meds connects you with real doctors and access to proven GLP-1 medications like semaglutide and tirzepatide. No guessing, just a more supportive experience, and all shipped directly to your door in discreet packaging. Do your research, ask questions, then visit OrderlyMeds.com/podcast for an exclusive offer. That's OrderlyMeds.com/podcast. Individual results may vary, not medical advice, eligibility required. See site for details.
Oh, wow. Look at that. I'm preparing for The Real Housewives. Wanted to be a cast member, preparing for Survivor. I mean, everyone listening, Savannah's given us a blueprint. So get your notebook out. Take these notes. Savannah's giving them to us. I love it. It's so funny that you say that, too, that you became self-aware that you just have to build up your social skills to be able to talk to different people of different walks of life and people that you normally don't typically go out of your way to talk with, but to familiarize yourself with that and to regulate yourself, your nervous system around these different personalities and different backgrounds and being able to just be sociable with them, because it's something that I am actually doing. Not that direct, not that intentional. I love it, but I am doing some different things because I'm an introvert and I love being, you love your solo time. But then when you get into social settings, you realize, oh, I need a tune up.
Yeah, I'm a total introvert too.
Really? I'm with two introverts right now?
Yes.
So much.
Well, that's interesting that, for example, like I know Mika, I've been besties with her for a really long time, but you guys put yourselves out there. How do you do that as introverts? Because I'm just like, whoa, and then I get exhausted, but I'm always fascinated by the introvert because I think the introvert always gets a bad rap as being cold or icy or unengaging. How do you guys do that and successful? Or I'll ask Savannah that since I'll interview Mika next time. Savannah's here.
I mean, I'll be real with you. It was really hard on the island just because in real life, I can go out, have a social experience, and my boyfriend is a total extrovert. So he will, in some ways, be encouraging me to go with him to certain events. And I want to be a fun partner. So we'll go together. I'll have fun, but then I'll also make sure like I got to have my recharge time, my self-care time the next day. But out there on the island, it's hard because you don't have any recharge time to yourself. You're constantly with other people, which is like the craziest thing. If you go off by yourself, people might accuse you of looking for an idol or doing something very suspicious. And so you're constantly surrounded by people, always interacting. And for me personally, like my social battery was like kaput by like day 8.
Wow, Savannah. You said the right thing though. Like as an introvert, we do, because I'm a Libra, I'm a social butterfly, so I love to engage, but then I love to, you go back and you do need to recharge your battery. You do need that space to like decompress and just, okay, that was great. But you didn't have that moment.
Cameras in your face all the time, right? You have cameras in your face, people in your face. There is no recharge time. I'm so curious, just before the island, did they do personality assessments? They must do assessments on you guys. What did they do? And what did you find out about yourself?
Oh my gosh. No, that is like the best question. I don't know how much I can get into it, but I'll tell you like I wish I could spill all the tea, but here's kind of the very general breakdown that I'll give you. So yes, there is a psych evaluation and a personality test is part of that. And they do like the psych evaluation to make sure we have a bunch of personalities out there on the island. We kind of want to profile how they might interact together. But I also think they want to make sure none of us are like too crazy to be stranded on an island in Fiji, right? They want the good personalities, but not the crazy over the top, right?
There is a fine line between reality star, like you got to be a little, you got crazy in a good way. And then there's that fine line between, if you touch my banana that I just found, you might get cut. So there's a fine line. So they want to make sure.
Insanity. It's insanity, legally insane.
Right.
But that's so fascinating.
Yes. And so to kind of give you like an example of how this would go, because you talk about like, don't touch my banana or I'm going to go crazy. So they had a ton of questions, like hundreds of questions. And the questions would range from sometimes I get so mad that I imagine myself punching someone to sometimes I get so mad that I have before punched someone in the face and then I want to kill them. So, it gives you like a spectrum of just how angry you might get in some of these situations, which is so fascinating. But when I took my test, they said you down afterwards and they kind of give you a little breakdown of your results. And the way that I was described is someone who is a female, but who has a lot of typically masculine traits. And so when you see me playing the game, you'll see me playing in a way that is pretty aggressive. It's bold. Those are words that I love to use to describe my gameplay because it's accurate. And what might be considered things that are mean, I think for women are characteristics that are considered assertive and aggressive for men. And so that's pretty much what my personality test told me. I act in my normal life and you really see it come to play in the game as well.
Wow. That's really interesting though, that masculine version of Savannah and the feminine version. So that was what they said. Okay. They kind of, after doing the assessment and then assessing you to go, that's the stamp. Was masculine Savannah?
Well, they basically said you have a lot of typically masculine traits. When you think of maybe like a male CEO for a big company who is a leader and who might be very assertive and who might be pretty tough, a lot of those, and that's not to say women can't be tough whatsoever, but a lot of these stereotypically male traits those are also traits that I carry. It's so interesting. I'm sure that the experts would explain it a lot better than how I'm doing it right now, but that's, yeah.
The masculine traits, I bet, and I'm guessing, I'm just maybe putting words into your mouth. The masculine trait, seemingly bold and confident, that people perceive you in a different way that you don't think you're being perceived as, I'm guessing.
Yes. Yeah. I actually just pulled up some typically masculine versus feminine traits, which is really interesting. Like masculine traits might be logical, confident, focused, strong, stable, whereas women are more intuitive, gentle, caring, nurturing. So that's what I mean when I say masculine versus feminine traits. I might not be the most gentle or nurturing person out there, but that's all right.
Mika, I think Mika would say I'm more masculine and she's more feminine, I'm guessing.
Yeah, like a battery in a car.
Yeah.
The positive, positive, negative, because Jules is very positive. I don't want to say that. But yeah, the masculine, feminine. Jules, what was it? The numerology, we had the numerologist. She did your reading and then she did mine. And we're both sixes, dominantly a 6. And it gives a trait when you're regulated, you're balanced. All right.
Yeah, she's trying to say I'm bossy is what she's trying to say.
Well, yeah. When she is not balanced, and yeah, she's bossy. So it's so funny. But the cool thing is, Savannah, our relationship works because when she's like, and we need to do this, and we need to do that, and I don't want to see another, and I'm on the phone like, mm-hmm.
Okay, let's talk about.
I know what version I'm getting right now. But yeah, so it was so cool when the numerologist, Sylvia, when she was giving us a background, I was like, oh, that's what it is. I'm like, okay, Sylvia, I am taking notes. But because you're obviously beautiful, Savannah, how did that play into anything? Because we're talking about feminine and masculine. And was that an asset? Because we're taking into account personality, we're taking into account our endurance, we're taking into account all these factors. And you're having to use your brain a lot. You're having to think ahead. You're relying on so many different parts of your body and your faculties. And beauty in some social settings, beauty does play a part. Was that a benefit, just like being able to rep 15 pounds? I don't know.
That's such an interesting question. And I mean, we've seen Survivor be around for like 25 years, and there are plenty of examples of women who have leveraged their looks into doing really, really well on the show, which I think is like incredible. For me, though, personally, I don't think my looks helped me at all. If anything, I think in some ways it may have made my journey a little bit more difficult. And I don't necessarily want to say that this particular thing happened because I look a certain way, but during my season, I got labeled as a mean girl. And it was for behaviors that, again, in the context of Survivor, I do not think they are mean. I think they're behaviors that are, I'm going to do what it takes to win. I am going to maybe smack talk a little bit because I'm a competitor at heart. And I don't think I'm doing anything that's crazier than what you might see an NFL player doing when he's at a championship. You know what I mean? But they're behaviors and things that are okay maybe when men do them. But when a woman does them, it is labeled as bitchy, mean girl, scary, and a lot of negativity associated with that. And so that was really it was really interesting. And, I got that from people who I played the game with, like during my season, but I got a lot more of it from people who watched the show and who were seeing a very filtered, again, I said, I'm proud of my edit on the show. I think the producers did phenomenal job showing me as a strong woman, but it's again, just one side of me. And a lot of the fans of the show would talk about how I just gave mean girl energy and how it just seemed like I thought I was better than other people, which is not the case at all. I think there's a way where I can think that I rock, but I also think everybody else rocks too. I don't think I'm higher or better than anyone else out there. But I think a big part of that way that people maybe perceived me, not just on the show, within the context of the show, but the fans, I think it does have to do with the way that I look and the way that I present. And I think that if I was a man acting the same way, I don't think it would have been labeled as a mean girl or as a bitch or anything like that.
I see that. And like, it's always going to be unfair. men versus women. It's always going to be unfair. Obviously, you are beautiful. You are strong. You have a quiet strength about you. I think you need, and I hope the producers know this, that you have to be well equipped before walking onto the island to take what you get after you leave the island, because I can't imagine you coming off, you're in La La Land. I just scored $1 million. I'm amazing. People forget it's a game. They forget that you've only known each other for less than a month. They think you're lifelong friends and you're backstabbing these people. It's a game. And then you come home, and I'm guessing your social media, I'm putting words into your mouth, but maybe you can walk us through that, what it's like to receive, I'm sure, adulation and congratulations, but the ugly side of fame that you weren't probably used to.
It's crazy. It's literally insane. And I say this as someone who has always been fairly active on social media, right? So I'm used to getting comments from when I worked in journalism from fans who maybe liked me on TV or people who hated me on TV. And I might get those comments, every once in a while. But when you are on a national TV show like Survivor, it is just that times 10,000. And I mean, I still get positive and negative comments every single day. There was a lot of positivity, but the negativity, for some reason, I don't know why, but it just hurts and it hits so much harder. It is honestly overwhelming to respond to everybody. I tried to respond to everybody when the show first started airing, and then quickly realized that is not possible if I want to stay sane. But for some reason, whenever I see the negative comments, there's something in me where I don't know what it is, but it's this pull to feel like I have to defend myself or address the weird comments. But overall, people are not meant to hear about themselves as much as what we're hearing about ourselves when we step into the limelight for like this. Even if it is just for a season or two, it is the craziest feeling. And I will say, although the negativity has been really tough, I'm so grateful that my story has touched people in a positive way. For all the negativity, I've heard from parents and moms, especially, who have said to me, Savannah, your story is resonating with my daughter. She was so nervous before her soccer game. She said she's going to act like Savannah. And then she played that soccer game and played it with confidence. And that's why I'm doing this. That's what I'm doing this for, I wanted to play Survivor for myself today, but also for the Savannah who fell in love with the show when she was just 7 years old. So hearing those stories, especially from those young kids, it makes this whole journey worth it.
When people turn to telehealth for weight loss, they're looking for real support. That's why more people are choosing orderlymeds.com. Orderly Meds connects you with real doctors and access to proven GLP-1 medications like semaglutide and tirzepatide. No guessing, just a more supportive experience, and all shipped directly to your door in discreet packaging. Do your research, ask questions, then visit orderlymeds.com/podcast for an exclusive offer. That's orderlymeds.com/podcast. Individual results may vary, not medical advice, eligibility required. See site for details.
I love that. I really, really love that, because you put yourself out there, all of you, all the cast members, and then you get back home, back to your environment. And then you said that you are quite familiar with social media, with doing the journalism. And then you get the hate. And I don't know, did it ever make you wonder, is some of that true? Because when one person says it, you're like, huh, okay. Because we're talking about worldwide syndicated show. And so translated in probably German, France, and French, and all these other, in Spanish. And you're like, Pablo and Spain just said, go yourself. Now I've got Jake in Australia saying I'm a this and that. Is this true? Did you ever start to go wait a minute, but did I really come up? Did you start to question yourself?
Yeah, 100%. And I think there's so much truth to what you just said, right? If you're hearing it from one person, okay, maybe they're wrong, but when you're hearing it from all sides, you have to reflect on it, right? And I'll be real with you. I had confessionals that were very cutting towards some of my castmates. I do think that there is grace that should be given, especially when you're starving and you're frustrated and anything is going to annoy you. And I implore anyone who thinks otherwise to reflect on times where they've skipped a meal or two and they're feeling a little grumpy, right? Okay, imagine skipping meals for an entire week. And at the end of the day, what I really did was I reached out to people who know me very well in real life. And these are people who are not going to kiss my ass and who are not afraid of me and who will tell me what they think and be like brutally honest with me in every area of life. And I asked them about my behavior on the show and they said, no, Savannah, we know you. Like, we know you are not a mean girl. This is within the context of the game when, yeah, you might be a little grumpy, but overall your gameplay isn't mean. It's behavior that looks aggressive and that looks strong and that might look scary, but it doesn't reflect your heart or how you treat people or how you talk to people at all. And then the other thing that I did too was reach out to people on my cast just to make sure that we were cool. Even if we didn't necessarily work together in the game, and even if I was responsible partially for them going home, at the end of the day, I had some important conversations with people that maybe may have felt like I was mean when they watched the show back. And you come to a place of understanding and you come to a place of, hey, we're good. And, you know, we had this crazy experience together and maybe we don't always see eye to eye, but we can respect each other. We can respect each other as people and as people who went through this crazy experience together and move on.
Yeah. And the cool thing is I love that you reached out to them, even the ones that you may have directly or indirectly been responsible for them leaving a show, leaving a game. And it is a game. It's a game to win $1 million, right? And it's a platform that you're able to use for if you're going to be an entrepreneur or you've got some other endeavors in your life or some causes, like winning season 49 of Survivor or any season is a platform to bring light to your causes, to bring light to what is that you want to bring into the world or product. So I love that you reached out to them and be like, are we good? Because I would assume, because they know the game, and sometimes we don't play a game as well as we should, but when we reflect back on it, we go, oh, I could have did that different. Oh, I could have did this different. Then when they look back and watch that episode, that season with you, they could probably go, what that you both had together that you shared. And then they can kind of go, oh, you know, it is $1 million game. I don't hate her for doing that because had I played it a little differently, then I probably would have done the same thing that she did, or I would have done the same thing to another cast member. So I could have stayed in the game longer or ultimately win the game because we're not just playing it just to like play and to go through all these experiences of like being, you know, hungry for a week and being sunburned, you know. So we're playing this game. So I'm thinking that they would have played the game differently had they known, had they adapted some of your tactics. Really smart tactics, by the way.
Thanks.
They would have played it differently. I love that the feedback that moms were giving you with the soccer, that she said her daughter, I'm going to play it like Savannah. That is so cool.
Yeah, it's like the biggest compliment ever if I can, because, you know, I grew up watching the show. There are women who I looked up to when I was that age. And so to now realize I'm that woman for some of these young girls, like that, it feels incredible. It's really neat.
I feel the energy that I'm picking up what you're throwing down, the energy.
Yeah.
Honestly, just as someone that I'm a mom to 4 boys, I've been a young woman who silenced herself just to try to fit in. And you're proving something so huge. What are those lessons that you've learned and how are you going to ignite and change the world going forward? Because you can't have a viral platform like this and not be thinking about what the next step is.
I know. And I kind of already touched on this, but the best part about this process is realizing that my story is inspirational to a lot of people out there. I feel like I just have like almost this natural high whenever I hear from people who say, Savannah, you being so vulnerable and sharing with me has helped me, and it will help me change my life, or it will help me change my daughter's life or my son's life, anything like that. And so when I look to what I want to do next, I want to figure out a way where I can continue to spread that confidence and that self-love and that strength that so often we struggle to find, I think, especially as maybe young adults. So if there's a way to do that with a speaking platform, or even just using my own social media platform to do that, I'm like, that's what I need to be doing. And there's so many different lessons from my survivor experience. And I think perseverance, especially when it looks like the odds are stacked against you, I think that that's something that I can absolutely speak to. Or at the end of the day, just owning who you are and not feeling like you have to bow down to someone else's opinion of you, feeling confident in, your positive traits, sure, but also some of your traits that might not be always the best well received, I think that's another lesson that can be learned. And if there's a way that people maybe feel a little more empowered just by listening to my story or sharing what I have to say, at the end of the day, if it helps one person, if it helps 5, 10, 20 people, then, that's why I'm here.
That's amazing. Each step you're taking, you're changing the world. I can't imagine what's next for you. You've already pushed yourself to the limit. So what is next for Savannah Louie?
Okay, I wish I could give you a better answer because I'm working through a few things right now. So that's a very limited way of saying stay tuned. But I have a couple of projects that are in talks and in the works right now. It might already be out there by the time that this podcast comes out. But yeah, I'm very excited.
And that's incredible, because to know Savannah Louie is to love her through the roller coaster, through the surviving. This has been a conversation. Guys, we will put and maybe she will tip us into what's next, and you'll find that in the show notes. So make sure you check out the show notes, because if you took anything away from today, I just want you to say that winning isn't clean. It's not always understood. And it's definitely not always celebrated the way you think it will be as a winner. Savannah didn't just play the game. She navigated it with keen perception that is cultivated, and the edits, the assumptions, the noise. The people who thought that they had her figured out are the ones who rooted against her. And look who is standing here with such grace and with such benevolence and understanding her legacy. Here's the truth that most people don't want to admit. In my mind, sometimes the very things people criticize you for are the ones that set you apart. Savannah has found her voice. We cannot wait to find out what she's doing in the future. She is using it. She is a survivor that has not been misunderstood. She is Miss Amazing. We are obsessed with her. Everybody, I want you to go right now, check out the show notes, because there are going to be tons of links just to follow her, become obsessed with her like MIKA and I are. If you loved this episode just as much as we did, and you are really wanting to just tap in more to the obsessed community and get to know people like Savannah Louie, don't forget to share this podcast, rate, review, and subscribe to the Get Obsessed podcast. We love you. Until we meet again, keep getting obsessed with your life.
When people turn to telehealth for weight loss, they're looking for real support. That's why more people are choosing OrderlyMeds.com. Orderly Meds connects you with real doctors and access to proven GLP-1 medications like semaglutide and tirzepatide. No guessing, just a more supportive experience, and all shipped directly to your door in discreet packaging. Do your research, ask questions, then visit OrderlyMeds.com/podcast for an exclusive offer. That's OrderlyMeds.com/podcast. Individual results may vary, not medical advice, eligibility required. See site for details.
If you like the show, please take a moment to rate, review, and subscribe. It really does help the show to grow. Thank you for listening.